India is home to a large population of refugees, but India is also vulnerable to an equal, if not larger, number of illegal immigrants. For instance, a large number of illegal settlers from Bangladesh have made India's northeastern states their home. The government of India wants to detect and deport these illegals. It's easier said than done. But the government is making efforts in that direction, such as the National Register of Citizens. Thousands of Rohingyas have entered India after illegally crossing the India-Bangladesh border. The Indian government argues that illegal immigrants pose a security risk. In some cases, they also threaten to change the demography of an area. Typically, borders in South Asia are porous and immigrants move in search of a better life or jobs. Others enter India to escape a conflict. India has among the biggest refugee populations in South Asia. It comprises the Chakmas from the Chittagong hill tracts of Bangladesh, people from Bhutan and Nepal, Rohingyas from Myanmar, Afghans, Tibetans and Sri Lankan Tamils, among others. But a criticism of India is that it has not signed the 1951 United Nations Refugee Convention or its 1967 protocol. At the same time, in 2017, India was the largest country of origin of international migrants, which is about 17 million. As we said, the issue of migration is a political one, and there are many sides to this story. There are repercussions for the countries to which people migrate, as well as those countries from which migration happens en masse. There is another specific too, the reason for migration. And there are many reasons. Political crisis, conflict, war, poverty, social discord, all these lead to migration, often illegal. And it's crucial to address it now because this problem is global. A one-size-fits-all approach will not only be disastrous, it will lead to more trouble. Let me explain the point with some examples. Starting with Italy, it passed a new controversial law to curb immigration last month. The so-called security decree looks to fine €50,000 on ships that ignore the bans on the Italian waters. The plan was the brainchild of Italy's Deputy Prime Minister Matteo Salvini. Now, Salvini aims to clamp down on migration from the Mediterranean region. He is a far-right leader. He's been accused of being inhuman to poor immigrants. There's a similar problem faced by the US president. The United Nations says that Salvini's decree violates human rights. But here's the politics of the matter. Italy's economy is in a bad shape. They do not want a resource crunch. Then take the case of Germany. Chancellor Angela Merkel has faced the wrath of the public due to her pro-immigrant stance. She almost lost power over this. Around 20 million people in Germany have an immigrant background. They have a German passport now. They're eligible to vote now. Ideally, that should have inflated Merkel's political authority, but on the contrary, it has led to the emergence of the new right. A new right which is steadfast in its opposition to immigration. The number of Syrian immigrants, for one, in Germany is more than 6 lakh people. Plus, there are several lakhs of Turkish immigrants. Ms. Merkel wanted to have this cake and eat it too. She devised a new law which aimed to make it easier for foreign workers to find jobs in Germany. Her plan was to fill the record number of vacancies because Germany's workforce is aging. But that plan backfired spectacularly. Angela Merkel's coalition partners handed her an ultimatum to amend the immigration law, which is called the open door policy. Her political influence has waned since. Next on our list is America, and Donald Trump's tryst with immigration is a well-known one. The disturbing image of the bodies of an immigrant father and his child has sparked a furor. But let's cut some slack for protectionist leaders like Trump as well. It's not the job of countries like the US to provide opportunities to immigrants. It's the job of the parent countries. And countries like the US, they must think of having a threshold limit on the extent of migration. Which brings us back to the case of India. The NRC debate is a case in point. The exclusion of nearly 41 lakh people from the draft NRC list last year created a huge controversy. The government has to take a position now. It cannot allow illegal immigrants to continue to live in India. Think about the diminishing opportunities for the locals in Assam. It is clear that this is a global issue. And this can only have global solutions. Instead of picking a side and sticking to it, governments must come together to debate on the matter. And that debate has to look into the facts and figures and not just emotion.